Good afternoon, Dr. Glover. Today I'm going to be presenting for you Pig stalls become the focal point of all animal rights debates. So some background on this case is animal rights and welfare groups have made it a main topic of discussion on the use of gestational stalls for the production of pork products. This has been argued by many as inhumane and unsustainable for the future of the United States. The Humane Society of the United States, which regulates human and animal rights, has put into place several acts to prevent cruel slaughtering from occurring in the future. These acts are the Humane Slaughter Act of 1958 and the Animal Welfare Act of 1966. Both of these acts were put in place to forbid unhealthy conditions for animals in the farming industry and to also prevent cruel and unusual punishment for these animals as well. As this issue has grown across the United States, different organizations have gained awareness of the impact cruel animal treatment has caused in more than just terms of animal rights. In the early 2000s, companies such as Costco, McDonald's, Wendy's, Safeway, and many more that could be named, proposed plans to slowly phase out gestational stalls and return pigs to their natural environment. Although this plan was a very good plan, it did not occur due to a lot of budgetary reasons which pushed back the process of this occurring. For PR in this case, by using race, this would benefit this issue in the pork industry by creating informational background to go on to create a better plan for the future. A great way of doing this would be by using a SWOT analysis. A SWOT analysis of this case would highlight some strengths, such as that by implementing a plan to phase out gestational stalls would create a slow change in the pork industry. Although this change might be slow and take years, eventually this would allow for farmers to treat their animals better and create products that people will be willing to have in their homes. Although there are also some weaknesses, which would include that companies might decide not to implement this plan due to budget cuts, which I mentioned previously, which happened in the early 2000s with a lot of companies, which pushed back this plan and has resulted in years of digression. By creating a budget that would be effective for the use of change, this would provide the opportunity for better animal treatment as a whole. Also, by having more funding, this would provide more resources to create awareness of the situation to make a change across the country. Thus, by creating a SWOT analysis, this allows for the issue to be resolved either immediately or, in this case, over time. Additionally, it does not only inform the public of issues that are occurring, but it also informs stakeholders of issues they might not even be aware of. An example of this would be if an investor for Giant, the supermarket, did not know how they were sourcing their meat products, and from a news organization or something along those lines, and they found out that the animals were treated in cruel ways, this might make them do a few things. One might be entirely pulling out their assets as a whole. Another might be redirecting their money and their assets to create changes to the environment of these animals. So not only would a SWOT analysis be helpful, but I think that there are a few communication theories that would help this case as well. The two that I chose were situational theory of publics and agenda setting theory. Situational theory of publics can be defined as building strategic relationships for an organization which involves understanding publics. The most important aspect of this theory is awareness and recognition of the problem. This is important because it allows PR specialists to understand how the issue is affecting people's lives. Not only is it affecting just these organizations and these major big box stores and companies, but it's also affecting everyday people and their lives. For instance, in this case, if more awareness is brought to the issue in terms of affecting farmers and their personal lives, by showing this, it shows that the issue goes deeper than just big organizations. Another theory that I think is helpful in this case would be agenda setting theory. This theory points out to the media and public officials an issue that needs more attention brought to it. So this tactic would be very useful because it brings the issue on a more national level if it was distributed by a large-scale media outlet. If something is distributed by a large-scale media outlet, it can reach more people and more local people, but it can also help show more public officials of things that need to be changed in their community as well. For example, if this story was aired on a national news outlet, this would bring attention to organizations such as the Humane Society of the United States or the National Pork Board. So these both would allow for a change in this industry as well. By using useful PR tactics such as a SWOT analysis and these communication theories, this provides the opportunity to make changes for both the pork industry and organizations affiliated with the industry as well. But most importantly, it allows for changes to be made on a more global scale. If other industries see better conditions for animals, this can cause a change even for humans, creating a better workplace for everyone involved. This even goes for animal rights and human rights on a global scale. If a country sees the United States and wants to implement something similar, if they're doing a successful job, this can create better lives for people around the world. That's all I have for you today. Thank you so much. Have a nice day, Dr. Glover.